and welcome to Virgo season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. I'm Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer, embodiment educator, and the creator of Embodied Astrology. I've been taking some time off this summer, and these horoscopes were recorded way back in Gemini season, so please let me know how they land for you and what's resonating in the comments. I do read my comments, and I want you to know that hearing from you is one of my favorite parts of this work, so thank you for talking back with me. As you tune in with this reading, keep in mind that astrology is an ancient, vast, and multidimensional technology. But sun sign horoscopes are general, and every astrologer has their own lens for interpretation. Not everything I offer will resonate for everyone, so take what works, leave the rest, always listen to your own intuition, and make the meanings that are most meaningful for you. I also want to remind you that horoscope astrology is most accurate for your rising sign. But, pro tip, do check your birth chart and see if you have a late degree rising sign. There are 30 degrees in every sign, and if your rising degree is later than 25 degrees, I'd recommend also listening to the sign that follows yours. If you have different rising and sun signs, listen for your sun sign for information on your general energy, and your rising sign for accuracy with timing, prediction, and thematic content. You can also listen for your moon and Venus placements for insight into your relationships. And since we're in a Mercury-ruled season, you might explore listening for your Mercury sign for more information on your mental state, important aspects of your communications, and definitely some more subtle themes that may be influencing you as we head into this Virgo season's eclipses. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to check out your 2025 Year Ahead Extended Horoscope. That's over an hour of in-depth exploration of this year's most important astrology for your sign, and those readings are discounted now by 25%, but still have so much more information that is relevant to this year, this season, and the eclipses we're about to enter. Okay, so before we get into your horoscopes, I also want to let you know that at Embodied Astrology, we offer much more than horoscopes and podcasts, and there are lots of opportunities to get involved. If you resonate with my voice and style and are interested in working with me to embody astrology more fluently and frequently, you can find me every Monday in Somatic Space, which is a weekly online class where we practice sensing current astrology through gentle exploratory movement, meditation, and visualization so that we can work with current astral influences in helpful, healing, and expansive ways. You can drop into Somatic Space any week or catch the recording if you can't attend live. But if you sign up for one of our monthly memberships, you'll get access to every live class, a library archive of past class recordings, and twice monthly chart reading study groups that are great spaces for learning more about how to work with your natal chart through experiential embodied practice. Our study groups are facilitated by my colleague, Embodied Astrology's community coordinator, Alisha Mawji. Alisha is also facilitating a 12-week cohort beginning on September 23rd called At the Heart of Conflict. This is the second group of 5 12-week gatherings, which are taking place during Jupiter's transit in Cancer between June of 2025 and June of 2026. At Embodied Astrology, one of our primary intentions is to harness astrology to work with the needs of our times. And Jupiter's influence in Cancer is particularly well suited for exploring patterns of conflict with curiosity, care, and in community with others, which is what this series is dedicated to. In these sessions, folks share and practice different tools that help us get curious about our own and others' experiences, expand our capacity in moments of dysregulation, and practice witnessing, careful reflecting, and collecting communal wisdom that expands different perspectives so we can move our conflict forward in new ways. Also coming up on our Virgo season calendar is a special one-time event I'll be co-facilitating with Sherri Taylor on September 21st, and that's the day of the Virgo new moon and solar eclipse. Sherri has spent over 15 years supporting individuals and organizations through transition, grief, growth, and awakening. Her work is rooted in trauma-informed psychology, adult development, systems coaching, and spiritual inquiry, and shaped by training in human development, group dynamics, and somatic practice. You might know her from Embodied Astrology. She has been with us for about 4 years now, and she is a longtime student of folk traditions, dream work, astrology, and mysticism as pathways into deeper presence and knowing. I'm so excited to be partnering with Sherri for this special event where we'll be tuning in with the Eclipse portal as an opportunity to play with deep diving into divination and dream work. If you're interested in any of what I just mentioned, you can find more information on everything in the show notes or under the events tab at embodiedastrology.com. Finally, if this work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free, please consider signing up for one of our recurring monthly donations. If every one of our listeners gave just $1 a month, we'd cover all of our operating expenses and have funds freed up to offer you even more. Other great ways to support this work are to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and sign up for our free newsletter, or send a horoscope to a friend. All right. Thanks for sticking with me for these announcements. Now let's get into your Virgo season and Eclipse season readings. Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Virgo season. Virgo is your fellow earth sign, so this is a season that I hope is nourishing and grounding for you. I will say that Virgo season is also bringing eclipses, and eclipses are a whole vibe. This is also a special season because we begin and end Virgo season with new moons. We usually only get one new moon per season, but this Virgo season begins with a new moon on August 22nd and ends with a new moon on September 21st. That last, did I just say full moon? New moon. New moon. That last new moon on September 21st is a solar eclipse. And 2 weeks prior to that, on September 7th, we have a lunar eclipse in the opposite sign of Virgo, which is Pisces. Now, the Virgo-Pisces axis for Taurus rules the best places in the chart. This is the polarity or axis of the 5th and the 11th houses. So Virgo rules your 5th house, Pisces rules the 11th house. These readings are solar chart readings. So this will be most accurate for Taurus risings, but I will say that all of your Taurus placements can resonate with what I'm about to say. As I've already said, probably a gazillion times, take what works, leave the rest, make the meaning that's meaningful for you. Taurus, out of every sign in the zodiac, these eclipses are the best for you. Congratulations. I hope it feels like that. Okay, let's get into Virgo season. So we start off Virgo season with a new moon at the very first degree of Virgo. And this place in the zodiac is about really profound intelligence. The kind of intelligence that Virgo possesses is earthly intelligence. It is being able to put the right pieces next to each other. And so if you've ever been astonished and amazed by the way that Earth is just like the most brilliant artist there ever was, and exactly the right plants grow exactly next to the other plants that need them, or, you know, like these landscapes get created by Earth that just exalt the senses, right? Because everything goes together. Like if you're a person who appreciates color palettes, for example, the color palette of the tropical rainforest is totally different than the high desert, but both places, they're like chef's kiss, perfect, right? If you don't get into human interference, like the earth is amazingly brilliant. And all of the earth signs encapsulate this brilliance, but Virgo especially is about how things go together and creating the right kinds of arrangements. Virgo is mutable earth energy, and so it's about changing earth, being kind of crafty with earth, recognizing that everything is always changing, always evolving, and then needing to work with it. Now, you have this energy in your solar 5th house, which is about creativity. It's about how you express yourself authentically. It's about any kinds of artistry that you engage with. It's also about your passions and your joys and like your favorite things to do and favorite ways to be. And this is part of the reason that Taurus is known for being such an excellent craftsperson. If you have ever read a pop astrology book about Taurus, you'll like read things about how, Taurians make amazing craftspeople. They make really good builders. They're excellent chefs. They're really good gardeners. And this is because Taurus resonates and responds with the creativity of the earth. So as we move into Virgo season, I feel that a lot of you are really in some kind of moment of creative expansion and inspiration. This is a highly creative time for you. I do want to remind you that creativity comes out in all kinds of ways. It does not have to be through painting pictures or making dances or doing things that capitalism calls art. In traditional societies, art is part of everything. It's part of healing. It's part of spiritual practice. It's part of urban planning, right? It's how we are. We are creative beings. And so however you might feel particularly inspired as we move into Virgo season, if you're having ideas about what you want to craft or what you want to build, or if you're just feeling like you're ready to express something, Taurus, you are. Believe in yourself. This is a great time for you to try some new things, to like deepen your practice in any way, and also to put it out there and let yourself be seen and witnessed. I would say this is true, not just at the beginning of Virgo season or through its entirety, but also you're working with eclipses in Virgo Pisces until I believe the last one we get is in February of 2027. And so this really is a period of time for you that is wanting you to get some more recognition for your creativity. The North Node is in Pisces right now, Virgo's opposite sign. For Taurus, this is your solar 11th house. And this is the place of audiences, networks, organizations, friends. And the North Node is an evolutionary growth point. So you might feel just fine being in your own little creative world, tinkering, pottering, cooking your beautiful meals, crafting your beautiful furniture, creating your beautiful gardens. I don't know what it is that you do. But if you don't let other people see it, I think you're missing out on something right now. And I think that you are ready for attention. You might be actually really feeling that, like inviting more visibility, or you're ready for some kind of larger collaboration. It's like your creative energy wants to get bigger now. And this is an excellent time for you to be doing anything that gets your work out there, that expands your creative play, and that kind of like gets you into a state of just feeling more expressive, feeling more creative. Now, I will say that this place in the chart also corresponds with children because creating life is part of how human beings are just inherently creative. Raising people is an enormously creative project, and children are probably the best teachers of creative, authentic expression that we can find on planet Earth, because that is the childlike intelligence, is to just express what is true and to be playful. And I don't know if you remember this in your own childhood. I certainly remember it for mine. I just remember how quickly I could drop into imagination and how quickly I could also connect with other kids around imagination. It does not always feel like that as an adult, but when I am around kids now, I see it happening all the time, where it's like kids will come together and they might not even know each other's names, but they're like, ooh, let's build a fort. Or, oh my gosh, you're a dragon and I'm a pterodactyl and everything is hot lava. And then they're like off, they're running, they're playing, they're in their imaginations. And this kind of intelligence is such a gift to be in the company of. And so if you have kids, or if you get to be around them, or if you are parenting, other kinds of things, right? Like if you're like a creative parent, or you have projects that you're building or something, just remember that childlike energy. Try and give it space. Now, this is amplified as Venus comes into Leo 3 days into Virgo season, and Mercury stations direct in Leo right around the same time. So the 24th, the 25th of July, Mercury is stationing direct, and I said that wrong. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Mercury has already stationed direct. I apologize, Taurus. Mercury stationed direct back in Leo season on August 11th. Mercury is leaving its retrograde shadow on the 25th. So it is totally finishing its retrograde cycle as Venus also comes into Leo. Now, Leo is the fifth sign. It resonates with the fifth house. And this is also about creative, artistic energy. Some of you may be very inspired to create home, to bring creative energy into your family. These influences are also really supportive for parenting, for being with kids, for decorating your home, for thinking about how to create experiences that bring people together in playful ways. So if any of that resonates for you, I just want to say that this is a fantastic time to be investing in these kinds of energies, and any ideas that you have for bringing people together, for creating, or for being creative in your life, and especially with others in ways that build community and strengthen bonds. This is a fabulous time to do it. So you have the astral blessings, if you were interested in getting them, just letting you know that they're there for you. As we move into the month of September, we are approaching eclipses. So the first eclipse will be a lunar eclipse and a full moon on September 7th in Pisces. And this comes just about a week after Saturn has retrograded back into Pisces. Saturn will be in Pisces for a couple of months at the end of this year, and then it will move back into Aries. It made its first ingress into Aries in March of 2025. Saturn spends about 2.5 to 3 years in every sign. So this is a significant moment of Saturn's return to Pisces, and it feels that some things are needing to culminate and finish up right now. Now for Taurus, Pisces in the 11th house has a lot to do with, as I've already mentioned, audiences, groups, recognition, things like that. But this is also a place that has a lot to do with friends, organizations, networks, and communities that you're a part of. I feel that a lot of Taurians have been needing to refine their relationships with friends and social circles over the last couple of years. I think a lot of you have been going through pretty significant, I'm going to say, disappointments in friend groups and kind of like larger social groups or organizations that you might be involved with. If you are engaged with any kinds of activism or organizing, there may also have been some challenges that you've been experiencing in the social dynamics or in the ways that you energetically feel in those spaces. Now, challenges are also opportunities to grow, mature, and cultivate our capacities and strengths. So just because it may have brought some hardships, Saturn's transit through Pisces is also trying to help you up-level your connections with friends, networks, organizations, organizing, etc. And as Saturn comes back into this space and we have the full moon lunar eclipse, I want to encourage you to be really clear with yourself about what works for you in these kinds of arrangements and relationships and what doesn't. And I feel that a lot of you are experiencing things more subtly and energetically that you might need to take some action on. So for example, let's say you work for an organization and you feel a kind of way about the organizational dynamics because of how it affects you energetically. But let's also imagine that you haven't really spoken up about it yet. Now would be a good time. And eclipses sometimes bring opportunities or catalysts for things to happen. And so if it feels like the energy is peaking or particularly activating or something like that, of course, we want to be discerning around our own timing. It's generally maybe better to try and communicate when we're in like a more grounded, thoughtful space. But sometimes you just got to say a thing, and it can be counterproductive to wait too long, especially in situations of conflict. If we don't speak somewhat soon, the circumstance can kind of get lost in the sauce of everyday life, And if it's still resonating for you and something you're holding on to, but you haven't spoken about it, it can be kind of hard to revisit it later. And often what happens is that things compound. And so if something feels energetically off, or there are attitudes or behaviors or something that you're not really vibing with, collecting enough experience so that you can speak to them as a pattern is helpful. But we also want to make sure that you are taking action as you feel compelled so that change can happen and you can be part of that change. I also want to say that I feel that for a lot of you, this period of time is asking for quietness and contemplation and a real kind of energetic responsibility for yourself. Now, I talked to you, I believe, in Cancer season about not taking people personally and holding a fair amount of spaciousness or grace in the ways that you're perceiving people. And if communication or attitudes or behaviors aren't landing with you well, before you jump into a reactive space and try and control anybody or think that they're acting that way for some kind of reason and it's about you, just allowing yourself to contemplate all that you don't know about why that behavior is emerging from them as it is, and maybe even why it makes sense to them or could be, part of an intention that they have that is impacting you in a way that they hadn't considered. But I do feel that this period of time is clarifying in a lot of ways for Taurus about how you want to be putting your energy into especially group spaces and friendships. And it is an important time for you to be paying attention to what you're perceiving and allowing your consciousness to direct your actions and decisions, because there may need to be things that you get to express and also participate with to change the dynamic. The window between September 7th and 21st is the eclipse window. And between eclipses, in general, astrological guidance says, stay as chill as you can. This is a period of time to be observant of what's happening, make skillful choices about how you want to work with the energy that is moving, and don't try to force things. This is particularly true when it comes to long-term patterns that you might be aware of. And I would say, especially because of where these eclipses are happening for you, long-term patterns in friendships, romances, and also in your personal creativity and expression and the ways that you feel able or unable to receive recognition, validation, and put yourself out into the world. I think that a lot of Taurians right now really need to give themselves more credit for how creative and brilliant they actually are. I'm talking to you, Taurus. You are creative and brilliant. You need to give yourself some more credit, okay? Let people see you. Let yourself receive their witnessing and appreciation. And if people can't see you because you're hiding all the time and you're like refusing to put your art out there, or I don't know, just like let people know really what you're doing, what you're up to, what your skills are. Let yourself be seen. If people cannot see you, they can't appreciate you, Taurus. And I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. Make the meaning that's meaningful for you. I feel like some of you just need to get over the blockage of it and just like put it out there. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Maybe you're like a poet. Maybe you're a scientist. Maybe you're an amazing chef, but like you only do these things for yourself. It's time to change that, Taurus. Let other people see you. They want to play with you. They want to appreciate you. When it comes to the organizations and the friendships that you have, same. Let your friends see you. Let the people you're working with see you. If you feel unseen, claim your worth. If you feel unhappy with how things are going in your friendships, with your organizations, etc., express yourself. Be upfront about it. Okay? Be honest. This is not a time to hold back. This is not a time to get hyperfixated on whether or not you have the right words or you've put everything together just so. Taurus can be very perfectionist. Let it go. Put it out there. Let people know how you feel. That includes, sharing your art and creativity. It also includes bringing things up that feel like an issue for you. Either way, you have to embrace imperfection. You have to embrace the reality that nobody is perfect. And so if you're unhappy with other people, letting them know with love what isn't landing for you is such an act of friendship and generosity, because it's going to help those people love you better and care for you better. They might not know that you feel so bothered. It's helpful for your relationship to speak up when things are not working so well for you. Can you do it with kindness and grace and compassion? Hopefully, yes. Okay. I think you get the point. On September 13th, Mercury forms its superior conjunction with the Sun. And here we are supported to see a kind of like longer term strategy. We are supported to understand cause and effect and the consequences of what has happened before. And I feel that for you, this period of time is really bringing some new awareness around cooperative efforts and shared destinies of some kind, because there is so much emphasis right now on who you're engaged with and how you're involved and collaboration and working together. And in the past, you have made certain choices about all kinds of things, and you are now able to see the outcomes of those choices. And this is a very powerful time for you to shift your consciousness a little bit. So in between eclipses, we don't necessarily want to push things or force things to change. We want to notice what we're noticing and take the cue from our awareness in the universe to help us open to new kinds of experiences. And in particular for you, I feel that a lot of you really want to be intentional about what you're engaging with socially and collaboratively, and take some more risks right now, particularly when it comes to authenticity. And your authenticity has everything to do with your body, okay? How you actually feel in the relationships, in the spaces. And for Taurus, first and foremost, you need to take care of your bodily experience. If you feel uncomfortable, literally, the Taurus people who I know, it's like, if they feel uncomfortable, they're going to change it, right? Like if they need a snack, they're going to let you know. If they need to sit down, they're going to fucking sit down. Like Taurus is bodily intelligence, but also a lot of Taurians can get in their heads about it. Like you can overthink it a lot because there is this kind of like attention to detail and orientation. And it's like, you want every little thing to be perfect. And I just feel like this is a period of time that is asking you to let go of nitpickiness and really just share and be, so that other people can share and be with you better. The last new moon and solar eclipse on September 21st brings a lot of intensity with it in the ways that it's aspecting the outer planets. And this does feel like a period of time when some of you may really need to be sitting with your own sense of disappointment or failure or insecurity or fear around sharing what you have to share. I'll also say this could be a moment of powerful validation for you, where you feel like you've moved through some kind of block. Remember that these eclipses are ongoing in Virgo and Pisces until 2027. And so we're in a process right now. And if some of the sensations of the former example that I gave are resonating for you, if you do feel kind of disappointment, if you feel like you or other people have fallen off a pedestal, or you're like, I really want to share my art with the world, but I don't like it, or it's not done, or I got rejected, or something like that. Know that this process is not over. And what is required at this time is concentration and commitment. And I feel that it's really helpful for Taurus right now to be focused on the ways that you are part of things that are really so much bigger than you, and to recognize that how you express yourself and what you offer through your creative engagement will have impact in ways that you can never know and never see. And the ways that your heartfelt, authentic expression, that your creative longings move through the world are not up to you to control. Once we express, once we give, once we create, then it's the world's to do with as it will. It's how we are part of the everything that's here. It's how we breathe. It's how we eat and shit. It's how our lives ripple from one generation into another. So we are part of something much bigger than any of us, Taurus, and it really feels important for you to be remembering that right now. Remember that there is no final fixed destination that can be reached in a single lifetime. And anything that you are doing right now is supported by so many ancestors and so much community, so many other lives. And everything that you're doing right now is moving out into the collective in ways that will impact the present and the future. And if you can concentrate on what you are really in service to and where you feel your deepest devotion and your clearest intention, that is the most that you can do. And you have to trust that that intention is what becomes your creations and how it will ripple out into the world. And you have to trust that that is enough and even more than enough. Okay? So Taurus, I want to leave you with a little bit of an embodiment practice. And this is a practice I hope can serve and support you in your creative expressions and in being seen and witnessed. Anything that I offer is always just a suggestion. So modify, adapt, play around with it, change it, hear the suggestion, throw it out entirely, and just let it kind of linger in your mind as something you can play with in your own way. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if it feels comfortable for you. I'm going to close my eyes and take a couple of breaths just to tune in. And so if you want to breathe with me, breathe and notice the process of arriving in awareness of your breath. All right, Taurus, now let's call up some memories for somatic research. As you continue to breathe and just sense through your inner body, I'd like you to remember a time when someone gave you something that they created or expressed themselves in a way that felt really honest and courageous, and it was a gift for you. And I want to invite you here to think about expressions or gifts that were kind of spontaneous. So this might be when you're, maybe your friend or your partner just kind of like has to tell you how they're feeling, or they reveal something to you that you've kind of felt for a while, but you didn't know what was going on. And then you hear the words and you're like, oh, okay, now I know what's going on. Or it might be remembering of maybe a child giving you a little drawing that they made, and just appreciating the way that they are learning how to draw and making something and giving it to you. So calling up a memory of when someone expressed something or gave something to you and it felt important for you to receive it. And as you call up that memory, I want to just invite you to feel in your body any kinds of sensations that you're noticing with that memory. How does it feel in your head, in your chest, in your back, in your legs and arms? What does it do for your mind? Okay. And then I want to invite you, Taurus, to contemplate the idea of perfection. And I'm gonna lead this a little bit and say that I bet that whatever this memory is, whatever someone is expressing or giving to you, that perfection isn't even something that you would think about. So there might not be any judgment around, oh, this 5-year-old is giving me a drawing and they say that it's a field of flowers, but it doesn't look like that, right? Like, we're not doing that with kids. We're just like, cool, you made me a drawing. That's so special. Tell me what it is. I believe you. When a loved one reveals themselves to you or expresses something to you, maybe their words aren't exactly perfect, whatever that might mean, but the feeling or the sensing of the ways that they are striving to express themselves to you might feel really meaningful. So inviting some memories and some awareness of the ways that others have offered to you in their total humanity and in ways that have felt good to you, that you've appreciated, that you've been able to take in and receive. And now, Taurus, I want to invite you to allow your mind to turn to whatever it might be that you are ready to be witnessed in. So this could be a particular talent or skill, a project or process you've been working on, or a way of being that you want to allow more fully into your life and personal expression. But allow your consciousness to turn towards a part of you or a place in your life that you are wanting to be a little more forward with. And then I want to invite you to notice what happens when you imagine being seen. I'm going to guess, and I could be totally wrong, so if you don't agree with this, just let it go. But I'm going to guess that inside of this imagination, there may be a different quality of sensation that you're noticing than the previous exploration. I'm going to guess that when you imagine being seen or witnessed for some part of you or some way that you express yourself, that there might be a little anxiety or trepidation, worry about how others will receive this and what they'll think, or maybe even more intense forms of criticism or feeling that you, for any kind of reason, don't want to show or share what this is, or you're worried about what might happen. And if that is true for you, Taurus, then notice what that feels like in your body. Notice the energy and the vibration that comes up in your body. Okay. And then we're going to give these parts of our bodies the medicine of the memories of the previous examples. So remembering how you felt in your body when that child gave you the piece of art, or when your friend revealed to you what's happening for them, or when someone made a gesture and that gesture was whatever it was, probably far from perfect, but for any reason, maybe it was meaningful for you. You know where I'm going with this, Taurus. Can you allow yourself to contemplate that the other people who are around you in relationship to the ways that you are ready to be seen are not wanting or planning on judging you? There is at least some availability for appreciation, delight, gratitude, witnessing, and pleasure that they have just because you're going to give them something. just because you are expressing yourself? Can you extend the same qualities of generosity and receptivity and appreciation into the ways that you imagine the world receiving you, that you know that you have as a person who receives others? As you reflect and contemplate on what it is or how it is that you are wanting to allow yourself to be seen, I want to encourage you to give yourself a hug, maybe put your hand on your own chest or belly or hold your own hands and affirm to yourself that your pure expression was never meant to be judged by anybody else's metrics of success or perfection, that how you express yourself, what it is that you have to share, is valuable because it's coming from you. Can you affirm to yourself that there is space for you to express, to share, and be appreciated in this world? If that feels challenging for you, Taurus, then I will leave you with this question about your own perception and projection on others. If you can appreciate and be completely delighted by somebody else's authentic expression and lack of total perfection, or if you might even feel that their authenticity is the perfection, just in the beingness, then Taurus, why can't that be true for you? I hope that that contemplation and somatic check-in feels supportive for you, Taurus. I hope that whatever it is that you're ready to share, you share. And I want to remind you, Taurus, that you've got something special, that you have a lot to give, and that what you have to give is very valuable. And it is not up to you, actually, to judge it. It is a gift to the world, to so many beings and life that you don't even know exist. You can't ever know how what you do or how you are will ripple out into the larger world. And not giving what you have to give is a loss for so many. And definitely that includes you. This is a time in your life to let yourself be seen. And I really hope that you will. I am sending you all the love for Virgo season. Bye for now. Hello again. I hope these season's readings feel supportive for you. If they do, drop me a line in the comments and let me know what's landing for you. Also, just a reminder to check out our upcoming events. I already told you about what we have planned for Virgo season in my intro, but make sure to check out our full calendar because we have some really special opportunities to work with embodied practice in alignment with astrology coming up later this year when we'll be hosting Palestinian dancer and choreographer Saed Mansour for a 4-week series that coincides with Jupiter's station retrograde in Cancer, Saturn's station direct in Pisces, and Mercury's retrograde from Sagittarius back into Scorpio. The energies created by this triple presence in the water signs are a portal for deep excavation of our own psyches and identities. And Saed will be leading us into a journey of dancing and moving with the political, social context of our current times. For anyone who's interested in really working deeply with current events and your own identity and embodiment in relation to them, this will be a powerful space for practice and discovery. Again, you can find more information in the show notes or at embodiedastrology.com. And I am sending you so much love through these eclipses and this Virgo season. Bye for now.